Well, the excitement after the IT numbers are actually not visible into the stock price of all of these companies.
Absolutely, Shristi, a very good morning to you. I hope you're not freezing in Delhi given the fact that it is extremely cold out there. And indications are that Mumbai also will be witnessing similar conditions, but yes, not as much as the northern side of India. But talking about the markets also, it looks like it is pretty chilly out there for the markets because markets are actually trading in the negative territory once again. This is despite SGX Nifty indicating that we may have a positive start. So there you go, markets on your screen, 0.2% downtick coming in for the Nifty. Nifty Bank moving in tandem with the benchmark indices. What is key to note is the fact that we are off the day's lowest point as of now, so we can take some sort of a respite on that particular front. Talking about the gainers, firstly, we have Tata Steel that is logging in most amount of gains, 2.5% uptick coming in for Tata Steel. Apart from that, you have HDFC Life, Ultratech and Mahindra and Divi's Laboratories, but all of them, they're gaining sub 1%. Talking about the list of losers, and Shristi, you did mention about the IT stocks, and all of them are under immense pressure in today's trading session. You have Infosys, HCL Tech Mahindra, all of them down, and they are a part of the top Nifty losers. Add to that list Reliance Industries. That one also is seeing selling pressure once again in today's trading session, and Reliance Industries is down about 1% as we speak. Let's take a look at what are the sectoral indices doing at this point in time. And yes, IT index is the top sectoral loser as we speak. Talking about the mid-cap index, they are underperforming the benchmark indices today. You have mid-cap index that's down about 0.7%. Realty, healthcare as well under pressure in today's trading session. But on the flip side, we have metal sector that is bucking overall market weakness, is trading higher by about 0.8%, followed by PSU Bank. So yes, that's the way how the market setup is looking like today. But Shristi, all eyes on what Kunal will be talking on the BNS and Pathshala, isn't it?
Well, yes, absolutely. Well, firstly, let me wish you a very good morning. Yes, it is quite chilly, and viewers can also get a sense of, from the wardrobe that you are carrying, and I'm carrying that, who is in a colder atmosphere. But now let's move forward. Actually, Kunal is there onto the studios, and Kunal, over to you. What interesting topic that you have got for our viewers today?
By my wardrobe, it's a normal wardrobe. But then, thank you so much for that, Shristi. It's the topic for today is more of a continuation of what we discussed in the last few Pathshala sessions, and that's the reversal patterns. So in the last few sessions, I discussed how the bearish reversal occurs when the stock is going into a downward trend, and from there, how do we project that the stock is getting into a reversal phase. This time around, I'm carrying a different kind of a theme over here, more of a bullish reversal of how a stock which goes into an upward trend after a spotting of certain formations on charts, we expect the stock to go into a downward trend. So the stock or the pattern which I'm indicating is inverted hammer. So we discussed last time a bullish hammer pattern. This is an inverted hammer pattern which is almost a mirror image of the hammer pattern which we discussed earlier, where the candle has a higher upper shadow, a small body, as well as a very small to negligible lower shadow for itself. And this kind of a inverted hammer pattern, it generally gets formed at the fag end of a price rally. So this is what you can see as a charts for MCX. Sometime almost a couple of months back, where the stock was going into an upward trend, it hit a zone of 1700, formed a inverted hammer pattern, and from there the stock went into a downward trend. This was the second inverted hammer pattern which was seen into the stock price, and post that as well you saw the stock going into a corrective phase. So the importance of inverted hammer pattern is very significant when you're looking at it as a reversal phase. In the next chart as well, which we'll see on Tata Steel, this is the same spot where you've seen the inverted hammer pattern. Now, as you can see that the inverted hammer pattern gets seen after a bearish engulfing kind of a pattern over here, which means that the prominence of this pattern increases. So if there are 2 or 3 bearish patterns which gets clubbed together, the importance of the pattern increases, and then we expect the stock to go into a much more sharper downtrend. And the third chart is one of the most intriguing charts, and that is ITC. Now, if you remember in 2014-15 approximately, ITC was trading at 340 odd levels, and one of the reasons why the stock had started to go into that massive correction was on the formation of this inverted hammer pattern. So as you can see over here, this is the first time where a prominent inverted hammer pattern got formed. Even over here, as you can see, probably that the stock had formed an inverted hammer pattern. So in a gap of almost 1 month, the stock formed multiple patterns of inversion over here, and the stock took a resistance, and this led to a major decline for the stock, which happened to come by in the next 3 to 4 years beyond that.
Right, so that's the interesting.
Hammer pattern works. Thank you so much, Kunal, for helping us with that understanding on to Buy Now, Sell Now Pathshala. But with this, viewers, it's time to slip into a short break, but don't go anywhere. As we come right back, we'll be taking all your stock-related queries, so stay tuned.
आग को फैलने से रोकना।
On every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do. We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong. We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs. ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you asked, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
And if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do. We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong. We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs. ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you asked, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
And if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do. We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong. We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs. ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now, and take a note of what the markets are doing. We have actually recovered from the day's lowest point, marginal recovery, still in the negative territory. Nevertheless, we've recovered almost 0.5% from the day's low. Take a look at Infosys and TCS. They are the ones that are actually seeing recovery, the most recovery in the last 15 minutes. You have Infosys that is now in the positive territory. TCS as well is seeing good strength, as in recovery from the day's lowest point. HCL Tech also, as well as Wipro. So basically, the IT pack is trying to stage some sort of a recovery over the last 15 minutes. You also have ICICI Prudential and ICICI Lombard also trying to recover over the last 15 minutes. But let's bring on board our guest for today. We have Kunal Bothra as well as Vikas Sethi joining us on the show. And remember, viewers, this is the show where we take all of your stock-related queries. So you can connect to us live on YouTube, Twitter, as well as Facebook, or else you can also connect to us via WhatsApp. That number will flash on the top of your screen. Mention your name, the stock name that you're asking your query on. Also, along with that, do mention your buy price in case you've already purchased, or if you're looking to purchase, so mention your time horizon. But with that, let's kickstart with the show. And before I get the queries on board, Vikas, a very good morning to you. Let's take a look at what the markets are doing. Pretty volatile moves coming in the markets. In this particular scenario, what should retail investors do to make sure that their wealth is protected?
Good morning, Shariel. As far as our markets are concerned, we've been a clear underperformer over the last few days, despite the fact that international cues have been positive, or international markets have been doing well. Yesterday also we saw very good data coming in from the US, and our data also were pretty good as far as our CPI numbers and the PMI numbers were concerned. But still, because of the relentless selling by the FIIs, our markets have been correcting, and we've had a decent correction from the highs of close to 19,000 odd on the Nifty to the current levels of 17,800. I think it makes sense to start buying in this market from medium to long-term perspective at these levels. The only thing which one should be considering is that one should be buying into quality stocks. And I think it's a great time to accumulate good quality stocks. And over the next 3 to 6 months, we might see a substantial upside in our markets from the current levels. And also, we have an important event lined up. We have our union budget on the 1st of February. I think in the run-up to the budget, we could see, I'm expecting a smart rally from here on. We could head towards levels of 18,300 to 18,500 on the Nifty before the budget.
So budget rally is expected in the markets by Vikas, and it is the right time to actually accumulate good stocks in your portfolio. Well, let's move on and kickstart taking all your stock related queries. And the first question that I have is coming from Guru, and he wants to know the fundamental view on Hemisphere Property, and is this worth to enter this stock at the current market prices? Vikas, what is your view on that? Because for the past 6 months, the stock has almost done nothing. But going ahead, what's your view regarding this?
No, as far as Hemisphere Properties is concerned, the stock has not performed well. And I think if one were to be in the real estate space, I think it would make more sense to be with a DLF or a Godrej Properties or an Oberoi Realty. Hemisphere Properties is not the kind of stock which one would like to invest at the current levels. If one is already invested, then he might continue to hold on to it. I don't mean to say that it's a bad quality stock, but then I think comparatively and faster returns could be there in stocks like a DLF or a Godrej Properties for that matter.
From Harsh Ranjan, he's invested in Thyrocare at a price of around 630 rupees per share, as well as a BSC at a price of around 640 rupees per share for the next 4 to 5 years, and this is mainly for dividend purpose. So should he stay put with his investment? Do you think is the right strategy to be invested in these counters, Vikas?
No, as far as his investment perspective or objective is concerned, he wants to invest for dividend. Then I think there are better companies whose dividend yield would be much, much higher than the two stocks which he has talked about. But I think one should also look at the capital appreciation while investing in a stock from a long-term point of view. And he has a long-term horizon of 4 to 5 years. I think BSC remains a good bet. One can continue to stay invested in BSC. I think over the next 4 to 5 years, this stock could give substantial upside or substantial returns from the current levels. But as far as Thyrocare is concerned, I somehow feel that there's a lot of competition which has creeped into this business, and with I think COVID fears now gone, these path labs or diagnostic companies may not do as well. So I think BSE could be invested into and Thyrocoir could be avoided, and one could look at other sectors or other stocks to invest from a 4 to 5 years perspective.
Okay, moving on to the next query that we have is from Lester De Cruz, and Kunal, he wants to know the take on two counters. Firstly is having SAIL at a price of 98, and the other one he has is Eicher Motors at an average price of 3,400. He's having 200 shares. What's the outlook on both of these counters? He's okay holding these names for the next 1 year.
I think then you can continue to hold on. I don't see any major tweak which you need to do on your current holdings, because SAIL is at the peak of high momentum. The stock is now inching closer to that breakout of the 90 mark. I would believe it may take at least another week or so for the stock to break past about 90 levels convincingly. So I think whenever that happens is where the momentum can accelerate, and I think that's a point where you may look to probably add on some quantity to try and reduce your initial cost price and get back into break even pretty quickly. Eicher Motors also, on the other hand, I think the stock is right now on the verge of trying to find a major support over here. So it's trading just marginally below the 200 moving average. Possibly in the next week or so, once the selling abates for Eicher Motors, and assuming the stock retests that level of 3,000 or slightly below that, that could be a point where you may look to average. So hold is what I would recommend as of now, not to average at current zone.
All right, next one also is coming your way, Kunal. Indu Sharma wants to know about Laurus Labs. Is it a good time to average? She already has 400 shares at a price of around 385 rupees per share, or should she just wait?
No, I think you should look to exit the stock. I think over the last many months I've been advocating on the show that it's not a stock which you should be holding on from your longer term portfolio. The structure for the charts, the way the stock has corrected in the last 1.5 odd year is very, very sharp, and I would believe that the correction as well as the downward trend may continue for some more time. So it's always better to try and exit the stock. You've bought at levels of 385, which is not at high levels of 700 plus or 600 plus, which the stock had seen as an all-time high. So I would believe that it's a good zone where you will look to exit and consider moving on to any other set of large cap quality stocks.
Okay, Vikas, the next question is from Sarla Arora, and she bought 100 shares of Nureka at a price of 1,000 rupees. Now the stock is seen to be trading at 400 rupees, but the 52-week high number is around 1,900. Sitting at a huge loss, what to do at these levels? Will that be advisable to average out?
Yeah, as far as Nureka is concerned, it's clear. It's been a clear disappointing stock. The stock has been beaten down badly, out of shape over the last few months. Although business-wise it looks good, but the performance has not been matching up to its the business which the company is into. But at the current levels of close to 400, I think one can certainly hold on to this stock. It's corrected. It's become 1/5 of what its highs were during the year. At the current levels, I think one could continue to hold on to this stock, and I think from here on we could see some upside in the days to come.
Next is for you, coming in from Dikshita, and Dikshita has Coal India as well as Hind Copper in her portfolio. Actually, she wants a fundamental view on this one. So let me take this one to you, Vikas. Dikshita has Coal India as well as Hindustan Copper in her portfolio, and she wants to know whether it makes sense to accumulate these counters. Over the longer term, do you think that it makes sense to have both of them in your portfolio? Because it is both of them are PSU-oriented companies, isn't it?
Good. Fundamentals are looking up, and I think over the last few days, clearly metals have been the flavor of the season. And as far as Hindustan Copper is concerned, copper has been seeing new highs every day. I think it's now trading at close to 6 months high, and I think Hindustan Copper would be a beneficiary of the same. And with the kind of focus which is there for electric vehicles where copper would be used extensively, I think Hindustan Copper would do well. So Hindustan Copper is a good long-term bet. Even at the current levels, one could buy into it. And as far as Coal India is concerned, again, a good quality stock with a pretty good dividend yield. The only thing which worries me when Coal India is there is that as the prices go up, the government comes out with its disinvestment agenda, disinvestment target in Coal India, and that leads to non-performance of the stock. So, but still, I think at the current levels, one could hold on to Coal India. But if one were to make a fresh investment, I think the likes of Tata Steel or a Hindalco or a Vedanta or a Nalco from the metal space would make better sense.
Okay, moving on to the next one. Kunal, the next question is from Anjali. She today itself bought January futures of LTIM at a price of 4,285. With the kind of recovery we are seeing in all of these IT counters, any hopes on recovery for LTIM as well? Because now the stock is down 1.8%.
I think what you can do immediately, I think, is to try and buy maybe a 4,200 put option. Now, I understand that that would be a hedge for the futures which you've already bought. I also don't see the stock dragging significantly lower, frankly, from current levels. But the only catch is that how long will the stock take to try and jump back to your cost price and come back into profits? That would probably depend maybe over the next couple of days if the IT stocks across the globe, as well as IT stocks from the large cap space from our markets, they get into any kind of a bounce over here. So LTIM is into an oversold kind of a indicator zone, but then the stocks can fall a bit more in an oversold territory as well. So just as an intraday or maybe a 1 or 2 day hedge, you may look to buy the 4,200 put option, but I would believe that the stock would probably get into a bounce process possibly by second half of next week.
All right, next one is from Mangesh. This one is for you, Vikas. He wants a near-term outlook on Poonawalla Fincorp.
Again, a very good stock. I've been bullish on this stock and I've recommended it quite a number of times at lower levels. I think the stock may not have performed over the last few days. I think after the updates by Bajaj Finance, and since Bajaj Finance was hammered, it also had its impact on a stock like a Poonawalla Fincorp, which comes from the same sector. But a great company, and I think with the new management, their cost of funds have come down. Fundamentals look good, and I see tremendous prospects or opportunities going ahead. So I would maintain a hold, and the stock can be even added on every declines.
Kunal, Gaurav has bought 190 shares of KPIT Tech at the current market price 683. Any levels to look out for in this one?
Spot level wise, I think 675 or 674 is the major support for KPIT Tech. This coincides with the support the stock had tested in the first couple of days of the month of Jan. I think the first couple of weeks of the month of December, as well as I think in the month of September and October start is where the stock had tested this level of 673. So as a support, the risk reward is attractive. You may look to hold on to the stock, keep 670 broadly as a support for the stock price, and on the upside you may look out for 720, 725 as a near-term target.
Okay, Nikhil wants to know about Dwarikesh Sugar. He wants a technical view. Kunal, should he buy at current levels?
Well, you can look to buy at current levels. The risk reward would be attractive. The stock is trading exactly between the 200 and the 50-day moving average. The recovery is quite good in terms of volumes. The last 1 month, the volumes are also quite decent for Dwarikesh Sugar. So I think purely in that sense, you may look to buy. For near-term play, you may look out for 105 to 107 as a target for the stock, and closer to 94, 95 could be a stop loss for this trade.
Okay, Vikas, Rajesh has bought shares of Maruti Suzuki at a price of 8,700. Currently at a loss. Any advice on this one?
No, again, at the current levels, I think one should hold on to Maruti, although the stock has not performed, but I think the sector looks promising, and with the new launch which it had done recently in the Auto Expo in Greater Noida, which is right now going on, they've also launched some electric passenger vehicle. I think that would sail them through, and it's a good company and trades at reasonable valuations now at the current levels. So although the investor is sitting at a loss, but I think from here on one could see upside. So I would maintain a hold at the current levels.
This one is coming in from Satya. Kunal, question for you. Why is Voltas falling? Also, he wants to know what should he do. He already holds some shares at a price of around 820 rupees per share. So he wants to know whether he should average, and also if you could give some sort of a stop loss for this one.
So, yeah, I think Voltas is looking quite attractive on the charts, because I think last week or so, or rather start of this week, the stock had broken past about the 50-day moving average. The indicators are trying to get into a momentum zone, but the last 2 days of reversal, I would probably sense, is more to do with how the overall market has shaped up. Now, you may hold on to the investments or your trading positions over here. Possibly look out for 800 as a support, and till the time the stock doesn't close below this 800 mark, you can continue to hold on to your positions.
Okay, Vikas Sri Krishna has bought shares of Camlin Fine Sciences at a price of 170. The stock is currently at 173. But how do you see this counter? Is that a wholesale or average out at these levels? Average out not making much of a sense, but what will be your advice?
It's been a good performer over the last few months. The stock trades at close to its 52-week highs. I think we could expect some more upside in the stock, so I would maintain a hold at the current levels.
All right, that's the take coming in on Camlin Fine. But on that note, we'll actually slip into a break on this edition of Buy Now Sell Now. But when we come back, we'll continue taking your queries. So viewers, don't go anywhere.
आग को फैलने से रोकना।
A fan. This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
And if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do. We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong. We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
Beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs. ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
And if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do. We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong. We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
Beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs. ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
And if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. it could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do.
We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong.
We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now Sell Now on ET Now, the show where we get you answers for all of your stock-related queries. So let me get going with or rather continue with all the queries that we have. And this next one is coming from Soumitra. And I'm unsure if you tracked this one, Vikas, but he's asking about Bata. He wants your view about this particular counter. So basically, as far as I know, that he has purchased Bata already. I don't have the buy price with me right now, but he wants to know whether it makes sense to hold, or should he continue to buy some more of Bata in his portfolio? And this, he wants an answer based on the growth projections that you have for Bata. Have you penciled in any earnings growth number for Bata in particular?
Sharil, no, unfortunately, I do not track this stock very closely, it being a leather stock, and for personal reason, I do not invest in leather stocks. But still, I feel the stock, from the face of it, it has corrected from its recent highs. Trades at reasonable valuations now, and the prospects look good. So I think he could continue to hold on to the stock.
Okay, moving on to the next query. Kunal, this one is from Bharat, and he is holding two counters. Firstly is Indian Hotels and the other one is EIH. Indian Hotels buying is 315 and EIH he bought at 185, and for the past so many months the stock is seen to be doing absolutely nothing, consolidating in a tight range. So he wants to know going forward what to expect from these counters, as they are very much silent movers as of now.
There comes a phase where traders who have to realize that after a period of very strong price gains from a short-term basis, these stocks, they manage to go into breakouts which lasts for more longer-term time frame. So Indian Hotels was a stock which I would believe falls in a very similar kind of a category. The stock has done exceptionally well from the 2020 lows. Even if you look at the last 5-6 months of price returns, the stock has climbed up from 220 levels to I think at 1.340 plus, and it's now getting into a time-wise correction. So these are the stocks which may not give you healthy returns or quick returns from a short-term play, but they may give you steady returns from a longer-term basis. So Indian Hotels, EIH, and such other names, they can do exceptionally well if you have a strategy of buy on dips and then holding on to these stocks from a long-term play.
Alright, the next one that I have is coming in from Kaji De Cruz. He is making some profit in Tata Chemicals, but should he sell it and look to buy Bajaj Finance instead? Kunal, do you think that strategy makes sense? He's not given his buy price, but definitely mentioned the fact that he's making profits on his holding.
Well, I would not suggest to make that switch. I would believe Bajaj Finance, Finserv would still continue to drag. These are over, weighted kind of stocks on the indices and in terms of the market participants as well. So the selling pressure may bound to continue for some more time for these names. Tata Chemicals on the other hand, I think has done reasonably well. It's trying to get into a recovery phase already, and I think over the last 1 month the stock has recovered almost 7-8% from its previous lows of 900. Once it breaks past about the 200 DMA, whenever that happens, say in the next 1 month, the pace of rally could increase for Tata Chemicals. So either which ways, I would believe that you should not make that switch.
Okay, Vikas, the next question is from Krishna Mohan. He bought Motherson Sumi, rather Samvadna Motherson, at a price of 102 for the long-term perspective, but now the stock is at around 75 odd rupees. What will be your advice? Is that a hold or sell?
I think at the current levels, one should continue to hold on to the stock. It's a good quality company, but the stock has not been able to perform because of the kind of recessionary concerns which we are seeing in Europe. And since this company has a huge exposure to Europe. The stock has not been performing, but I think from here on we could see some upside, so I'll maintain a hold.
Longish query coming in from Santi. This is on Reliance Industries. This is headed your way, Kunal. What he's saying that he's holding Reliance Industries at a price of around 2,390 rupees per share. 125 is the quantity that he has. He's saying he's holding this counter since the year 2022, and he's been adding small quantities on every support, but never followed sell at a high and buy at a decline, sort of a strategy for Reliance Industries, given the fact that a lot of brokerages come out with a buy call on this counter when it has already reached a peak of around 3,000. Now he wants to know, given the stock is now at his current market price, it has eroded entire profit many a times. What sort of strategy should he kind of adopt when it comes to Reliance Industries? The fact that to make sure that he keeps his wealth protected in this one.
So I would believe, yes, that buy on support as well as sell on rallies is one of the better strategies. We would all want to sell at days high and buy the stock at days low. But then practically we also know that that's something which is not achievable on a regular basis. However, I think for Reliance Industries and for stocks, it's always better to identify the key support levels. Now, if you go back the last 2 years, Reliance Industries has been trading in a band of 300 points plus or minus the 2,550 odd mark. So 2,550 has been a major pivot zone or support for Reliance Industries, and the stock tends to swing 300 points plus or minus that range. And we've seen this tendency for Reliance Industries to go into a time-wise correction devoid of how the markets shape up. So just to put it simply, I would believe that if you're looking to buy on support points for Reliance Industries, you may start at current levels, but then possibly every 50 points on the downside is where you can look to average from the current zone of 2450.
Okay, Kunal, Dr. Kupesh wants to know your view on IDBI Bank. He's holding 10,000 shares from a price of 60 rupees. So going ahead for the next 3 to 6 months, he wants to know what should be the likely targets he should be looking out for.
See, in these kind of stocks where there is so much of news flow which is anticipated, I think if I'm not wrong, just 3 or 4 days back, there was some news flow which had come by for IDBI Bank on the disinvestment part, and the stock had started to correct, from those highs of 60, 61, and currently I think it's at 54, 55 rupees. So which means that the tendency of these stocks to correct 6, 10%, 15% in a short span of time, depending on the news flow, is very much high. That is the only reason why I generally don't look at avoiding or recommending these kind of stocks. Now, in scenario which you are already bought at 60 odd levels, I would suggest that you may hold on to the stock as of now. Don't add incrementally at current levels. Wait out for a point where the stock, say, assumingly, if it dips further towards the previous support of 50, that's the point where you may look to average.
All right, this next one is coming in from KR Balan, and this one is for you, Kunal. What he's saying that he has 500 shares of HCC at a price of around 21 rupees per share. He has also Orient Hotel at a price of 75 rupees per share. Should he hold or directly exit these counters and shift his holding to a Union Bank or maybe an IT stock like a Birlasoft instead?
So HCC as well as Oriental Hotel, these are good names. I think they have done reasonably well in the last few months, and I think Orient Hotels apparently has done exceptionally well from the 2020 lows of 15-16 rupees approximately. So I think both these stocks are quite okay in terms of holding from current levels. And from the IT stocks, if you're looking to buy, then I would suggest that yes, Birlasoft is something which you can look to buy. You may probably even look to add stocks like Redington as well as KPIT Tech. I think these are the few names from the mid-cap IT space which you may look to consider.
Okay, moving on to the next query, Kunal. Rajkumar bought at ITC at a price of 288. He's holding 200 shares. Wants your advice on this? Is that a hold at these levels or sell?
I would suggest to hold on as of now, but then keep a stop loss of maybe 325 on closing basis for the trade. So assuming if the stock closes for 2 consecutive days below the 325 mark, that's a zone where you may look to book out profits over here and then re-enter whenever the stock probably comes back about the 340 mark. So that 325 and 340 is a zone where we call it as a neutral zone. Below the levels of 325 on closing basis for 2 consecutive days is where I would believe that the trend would shift to the downside for ITC.
Okay. Lalita Kumari has bought NAM India at a price of around 290 rupees per share. Indus Towers at a price of around 200 rupees per share. Wants to know fundamentally, are these good companies to be invested in for a period of 3 years? She is saying that she's invested for dividend purpose. Vikas, do you think right strategy to be invested in both of these counters for a period of 3 years for dividend?
Sharil, I could get NAM India. What was the other stock which she's invested into?
Indus Towers.
Okay, as far as NAM India is concerned, I would maintain a hold at the current levels. The stock has corrected from its highs and gives a good dividend yield of close to 4.5 to 5%. So her objective of dividend yield, as well as I feel growth prospects of Nippon Life looks good. So she can continue to hold on to Nippon Life. As far as Indus Towers is concerned, I'm not comfortable with it. The stock has not been a performer. And I think there are better opportunities in the market. So I would advise her to exit Indus Tower and look to invest in some other quality stock.
Okay, so that's the advice coming in on Nippon as well as Indus Tower. But with this, viewers, it's time to slip into a short break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back to take up more of your stock related queries, and experts also. Please hang on.
आग को फैलने से रोकना।
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs. ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
And if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do.
We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong.
We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs. ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
And if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do.
We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong.
We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs. ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
And if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do.
We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong.
We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
Welcome back to Buy Now, Sell Now, and markets are definitely on the recovery mode, and as Cher was highlighting some time back, the recovery is being seen in the IT stocks, and Infosys definitely is the second top gainer in Nifty 50 as of now, but on the losing side, L&T is one of the top losers as of now. Well, let's move on and once again get back to taking all your stock related queries. And Vikas, coming to you, the next question is from Gaurav. He's also from Delhi. He has bought 11,000 shares of Prakash Industries at a price of 90 rupees. Currently at a loss. Do you track this one, and will you be able to advise him on this?
Sorry, I do not track this stock very closely, but I think such a big quantity and a big investment in a stock like a Prakash Industries would not be justifiable in my opinion. I think he could look for better options in the market, better opportunities. Even if he were to be in a metal space, I think there are umpteen number of opportunities to be in. So my advice would be to just look for opportunities to get out of it and look for some better company to invest from a long-term perspective.
All right, the next query has come from Leon. He's writing to us from Thrissur, and Leon, is very good to see your query after a while, but this one is coming on BEL, 1,000 shares which he's purchased at 99 rupees per share. Kunal, he wants to know what's the short-term view, and should he look to add some more of this right now?
Yeah, it's at current levels of 98, which is very close to your cost price. I don't believe that you need to add at the earlier cost price. So maybe if the stock dips towards 95 mark, which was the previous support for BEL, that could be a zone where you may look to accumulate. But it's a good stock to hold on to. I think even though the stock is right now into a corrective phase, but then I would believe that once the correction is over for the stock, the recovery which could probably happen to the stock should take it higher to 105, 110 and such higher levels over the near to medium term. So I would suggest to hold on as of now.
Okay, Vikas, the next question is from Smita. She is holding shares of Ashoka Buildcon at a price of 105, currently at a loss. But for the next 1 year, would you advise to accumulate this counter? What is your view on this one?
I think most of the infrastructures have been doing well. This stock has also performed over the last few weeks, but I think there is some more upside to go, and I'm sure the budget also would be pretty positive for the infrastructure sector as a whole. And this company has been bagging good orders with a pretty good solid order book and good execution capability. I think over the next 1 year, we could see substantial upside from the current levels. So my advice would be to hold on to this stock.
Coming from Dhananjay, he wants a 1-year view on Aarti Industries and Galaxy Surfactants. What's your view on this one, Kunal? How are these counters looking? Or if there's paucity of time, either one of them?
So I would believe that Aarti Industries is something which has been at a major 52-week low, continues to disappoint over the near to medium term charts, and I would believe that it makes sense to exit the stock into a corrective phase. Galaxy Surfactants, yes, the stock has now entered into a deep oversold territory. So you can start buying on dips at current levels, but then just be a bit more sanguine in terms of the quantity which you want to deploy over here, because these kind of sharp corrections, they may continue for another 3 to 6 months on a broader basis, or the stock may go into a time-wise correction. So you may not see an immediate return or a relief into the stock price, and you don't want to position your higher quantity or higher funds allocation into such kind of stock. So you may look to deploy a smaller quantity over here, but then even in that smaller quantity, buy on dip strategies would I recommend.
Shares of HFCL at a price of 74 rupees. He wants to know, is that a hold or sell at these levels?
Yeah, as far as HFCL is concerned, I think it's been a stable stock but has not been performing. So at best, it could be a hold at the current levels.
The next one is coming in from Suresh. He's holding Federal Bank at the price of around 400 shares at a price of around 93 rupees per share, average price that is, for the last 1 year, Kunal. He wants to know whether it's good time to sell and book profits, or is there some more leg left for this particular rally that the banking space in between had witnessed?
Well, I would suggest to hold on as of now. I would believe that there could be a possible more phase of rally for Federal Bank. In fact, on an intraday basis today as well, the stock had recovered quite smartly. You look at the last, I think, 1 or 2 weeks, the stock was has also seen a recovery from the previous lows. I think 125 or 127 was the low for Federal Bank. Even from that aspect, the stock has recovered. So which means it's a stock which is finding a lot of buyers every time it gets into a short-term corrective phase, and that's a stock which you need to hold on.
All right, with that, we will kickstart with the rapid fire then. And Kunal, come first. First, I'm coming to you. Padma is a senior citizen, wants to know whether it makes sense to buy NCC, Kirloskar, or even Cyient for a period of 6 to 12 months. Either one of them?
So yeah, NCC and Cyient is what I would recommend out of the 3 names.
All right, Naresh wants to know about Deepak Fertilizer, 300 shares at the price of around 873 rupees per share. The stock is down by about 20%. Vikas, he wants to know, should he continue to hold on for the longer term or exit?
Now, fundamentally, a good company, I think at the current levels of 700, one should continue to hold on to this stock.
Okay, Suresh is holding 50 shares of Jubilant Food Works. It's almost at his buy price currently. Kunal, good time to accumulate for the long term?
I would suggest avoid.
All right, this one is coming in from Sagar. He wants to know about Biocon holding 50 lots in futures, also in options. Kunal thought the selling is slowing down on reversal, but that's not happened. What sort of a target should he want to cover profits?
Yeah, you may continue to look to hold on. Possibly another 15 rupees on the downside. 230-ish approximately is what you can keep as a target for Biocon.
All right, Ajay Kumar wants to know chart signals for Zomato. What should he do? How is it looking, and what are the targets for 1 to 3 months?
Well, as of now, it's signaling some bit of sluggishness or bearishness. So I would believe the stock may sort of correct and come back towards 48, 49 levels.
Okay, Purnima is holding HG Infra, 7% profit, wants to exit the stock, but she wants to know whether she should go for M&M or AB Capital instead. Vikas, what's your take?
No, even HG Infra is a good stock to hold on to, but I think M&M and AB Capital also makes sense for medium to term.
All right, Dasarathi has shipping SCI, 200 shares at a price of 86 rupees per share. What's the technical view on this one, Kunal?
Looks attractive. If you've bought, then I would suggest to hold on to the quantity as of now.
Okay, Indu wants to know about AU Small Finance Bank. Good to invest in the at current market price. What's your take, Vikas?
Okay, I think one can suddenly look at AU Small Finance Bank. I'm bullish on the banking sector as well.
All right, Shivananda already has Gland Pharma, wants to know whether he should continue to hold on to this counter, not sure of the buy price, Kunal?
I would suggest to avoid. If you're already holding, then you may look to exit on rallies.
All right, and with that, we come to the end of the rapid fire as well as the queries. Thank you so much, Vikas, as well as Kunal, for joining us on the show. And Kunal, particular thank you to you for the BNSN Pashala. But with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Buy Now Sell Now. Goodbye from Shrishti, myself, and the team that put the show together. But stay tuned, Markets at Noon coming up next.
आग को फैले।
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
And if this cup of coffee is costing you 20 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do.
We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong.
We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs. ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
And if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do.
Nifty manages to defend the 17,800 mark amid choppy trade as durables and pharma continue to lag. Metals, however, bucked the trend. The only green on the screen today. All the Nifty metal constituents trade in the green.
HCL Tech, a week after the numbers, specifically on the guidance front, Q3 numbers exceed expectation. However, Infosys does not do much enthusiasm as far as the numbers are concerned.
In more earnings on the radar, higher furloughs due to seasonality could hurt Wipro's third quarter performance. Revenue growth seen at the lower end of the guidance. HDFC Bank and Avenue Supermart will report their results tomorrow.
L&T Technologies sees a sharp downtick after its parents L&T SmartWord and Communication